If you're watching this video, most probably incoming freshman ka sa UP, you're currently a student in UP, and you're still not sure how stuff works, or you're just plain interested in how our enrollment and registration system work. Sa video na to, we'll tackle roughly how the core system works, some added complexities with the system, and some personal advice I'll give at the end of the video. Anyway, iba yung pagkuha ng subject sa UP. A little disclaimer lang before I start, explain ko lang yung pinaka-core mechanics with registration and not really the whole process itself. Bakit? Kasi hindi lang siya posible mag-iba per year, posible din na mag-iba siya per department or per campus, etc. So, for comparison lang, we should all be familiar sa system ng high school and likely yung system ng mga ibang universities outside UP. Usually, yung university yung nagbibigay sa'yo ng subjects mo. Madalas, may isang section and common yung situation na yung kaklase mo from your first year hanggang gumraduate ka. Sa UP, it's different. The way na nagwo-work yung UP is ikaw pumipili na subject na gusto mo for the semester. Yung subject, by the way, madalas tinatawag natin siyang course. And yung course natin in Filipino terms, kunyari course ko is computer science, is tinatawag natin na degree program. Focus tayo sa mga computerized systems nowadays. So, CRS with Diliman, and consequently also with UP Clark. Most other campuses use SAIS, and I think other campuses are using their own systems that I'm personally not familiar with. However, the system in this vid should still apply somewhat. Let's start off with the courses. So bawat course, imaginein mo parang Lego sila. Tapos iba-iba yung sizes. So kung yari 1 unit, ganon, or 4 units. Roughly, 1 unit is 1 hour per week sa regular semester. So kung 4 units yung isang subject, likely na 4 hours per week kayo nagmi-meet. In addition, limited ka sa number of units total sa pwede mong kunin sa UP. So hindi ka pwede kumuha ng sobrang dami or sobrang konting units unless may special kang kondisyon. For a regular sem, I think 20 units yung limit mo and you can't go under 14 or something. Again, don't quote me on this kasi nag-iiba ito and likely na mali na ako. But yeah, may range of units kang dapat kunin para mo-consider ka as a regular student. Sumobra ka dyan, you're considered overloading. And kapag kumulang ka, you're considered underloading. Normally, you can't do either overloading or underloading unless naghahabol kang subjects and pinayagan ka, or working student ka and you need to take some load off. Ganon. Now, the fun part. Papaano ka namimili? May 3 types of courses na pwede mong kunin. Mga course specific sa degree program mo na tinatawag nating majors. In my case, CS32 or CS145, for example. Mga courses under the general education or GE program like Philo 1 or English 13. And mga PE courses na ino-offer ng UP. Para makagraduate ka, kailangan kumpletuhin yung mga required courses sa lahat. So yung mga majors, may flowchart or checklist kayong sinusundan. In my case, ganito yung itsura. Sa GE programs, checklist lang siya since quote-unquote floating sila and you can take them anytime during your stay. So Ox lang. Mga PE naman, again, floating sila and you should be able to complete 4 PE courses to graduate, at least sa UPD. Importante lang, for PE, it doesn't really matter anong PE sila. You could take PE dancing or PE scuba diving, stuff like that. May NSTP courses din na required, pero they pretty much function the same way as PE and GE. In addition, NSTP and PE, kahit may units sila nakalagay, hindi sila counted sa unit count mo. So pwede ka 20 units plus PE plus NSTP, ganon. Dahil doon, hindi rin sila counted sa grade mo during your stay. So it wouldn't really matter kung 1 ka or 3 ka sa PE and NSTP. Pero it would matter kung 5 ka or bagsak ka kasi that means you have to retake them. Kailangan kasi pasado sila. Look simple, di ba? Pero here's the problem. Kunyari, yung isang English 13 course at 1 p.m., 20 students lang tinatanggap. Pero 21 kayo nag-apply. So there's a chance na hindi mo makukuha yung course. In this case, kung pinili yung mga 20 na iba and hindi ka napili, hindi mo makukuha. The way UP solves this is nag-o-offer siyang maraming courses. For example, 10 English na iba-iba yung schedule and iba-iba yung instructor. Sa CRS, pwede ka mag-apply or a more proper term, mag-enlist sa maraming courses kahit virtually parehas lang sila. Hindi pwede, by the way, magka-duplicate enlistments. Like, 2 enlistments under sa English 13 ni Mr. Cruz at 1 p.m. Note na may limit yung pwede mong pilihin. I think sa CRS, up to 20 enlistments lang yung pwede mong gawin. Pero bakit mo gagawin yun, di ba? So back to our example, pero magdadagdag tayong isa pang course, sabihin natin English 13 at 2 p.m. 20 slots each and 40 kayo. So sabihin natin na lahat ng 40 other students ay nag-enlist sa 2. And ikaw, nag-enlist ka lang sa 1 p.m. Once nakita yung result, kung yari minalas ka ulit and hindi mo nakuha yung 1 p.m., effectively, makakancel yung enlistment ng 20 na yon sa English 2 p.m. Kasi tanggap na sila sa 1 p.m. Ikaw ngayon, wala kang nakuha kasi hindi ka naman nag-enlist sa 2 p.m. na makukuha mo sana kung nag-enlist ka. Yung enlistment, usually 2 rounds yan. So after ng first round mo, tapos konti pa lang courses mo or may gusto kang palitan, pwede ka pa rin mag-enlist next round. So ganoon nag-work yung enlistment. Syempre hindi na ganoon kasimple kasi magja-juggle ka ngayon ng mailang subjects na required sa course mo. Mga GE, mga PE at yung mga mailan mong majors. So this is the gauntlet you have to go through every semester to get your subjects. Let's now tackle some extra complexities with the system. One frequent question na tinatanong is, papaano na-decide kung sino yung makakatanggap ng course? In the case of CRS, para siyang lottery, random chance. And I believe in the case of SAIS, sa UP Manila, UP Baguio, unahan siya, first come first served. Kaya there are times na na-overload yung mga servers ng SAIS sa dami ng mga naglalogin kabukas ng enlistment. In other campuses with their own systems, you have to find out for yourself. Pero sa CRS, hindi siya purely random chance lang. May priority systems tayo in place. Roughly, ganito yung mga order ng mga priorities. Mga students with special needs, then mga graduating status, then mga freshmen, yes, may priority mga freshmen on their first year, mga varsity and cadet officers, then mga regular students that makes up the bulk of UP's population. Sa mga ibang systems, definitely iba ito, but sa CRS, sa Diliman and sa Clark, that's how it is implemented. So let's work with an example. Kunyari, English 13 with 20 slots. Tapos may 15 na freshmen, 3 na varsity, and 30 na regular students na naka-enlist. So agad, makukuha ng mga freshmen yung slots, then yung mga varsity. Tapos yung 30 na reg students, basically, magkaka-lottery between them sa natitirang 2 slots. Mahirap, no? Palitan natin, gawin nating 30 freshmen yung mga naka-enlist. In that case, magkaka-lottery sa mga 30 na freshmen na yon. Then, 20 sa kanila yung makakakuha ng slots. Yung mga varsity and yung mga reg students, hindi na sila makakakuha ng slots dito. Staying on the same topic of priority, may priority din yung pagpili mo sa mga subjects mo. 'Di ba up to 20 yung pwede mong i-enlist na subjects? So kung yari may 5 akong English 13 subjects na naka-enlist, naka-priority yon by default sa CRS, from highest to lowest. Meaning, kung nakuha ko agad yung number 1, maka-cancel yung mga enlistments ko sa iba on the same course. To be more specific, kung yari, hindi lang siya naka-cancel with the same course, naka-cancel din siya with the same times. So kung yari, kumuha akong English 13 at 1 p.m. tapos Math at 1 p.m. din, which means magka-conflict sila. So kung sino yung una mapili sa kanila, kung sino yung naka-prioritize, maka-cancel yung enlistment ng isa. At the end of the run, when you get the results, hindi ka pwede makakuha ng 2 subjects na may conflicting na oras. Kahit parang 5 minutes lang yung conflict. For example, math na nagtatapos sa 2:35 and then English na nagsisimula sa 2:30. Another added complexity dito is the concept of blocks. To be simplistic about it, kung Lego yung mga courses, basically yung mga blocks mga pre-built na set na. Usually sa Diliman, sa first sem ng mga freshmen, ino-offer to para mas madali sila mag-transition to the whole system and to college life in general. Yung mga blocks, parehas lang sila sa mga courses in terms of the mechanics, na may limited number of slots din sila, and lottery-based din yung pagpili. One could actually think about it as a section na parang high school or elementary lang. Note that yung mga blocks madalas hindi pa sila malapit doon sa maximum unit limit. So pwede kang magdagdag ng extra subjects. Pwede kang magdagdag ng GE or ng PE, etc. Then, pagdating ng second sem, usually nawawala na yung block system and you're on your own na nun. Kapag wala kang block, usually yung term sa'yo is blockless. Wala itong negative connotation within the university. Madalas pa nga tingin sa'yo matapang ka kasi dinaanan mo lahat ng kahirapan sa registration sa first sem mo pa lang sa UP. Sa mga ibang campuses or even sa mga ibang departments, hanggang gumraduate ka may block system in place. Pero yun nga, kadalasan, in-offer lang ito sa first semester ng estudyante sa UP.
Are you winning, son?
Now, kung yari after ng 2 rounds mo sa enlistment, kulang pa rin mga subjects mo. Actually, nangyayari din yung after ng 2 rounds wala kang subject. Hindi pa naman end of the world kung nangyari yan. Sa first day ng class, sa first week, pwede kang pumasok sa isang course na gusto mo and mag-sit-in ka. Before or after the class, pwede kang mag-request sa instructor na ipasok ka sa student role niya. Yung instructor naman, may mga factors din siyang kino-consider. Kaya ba niyang mag-handle ng isa pang student sa class niya? Like mag-check ng exams, activities, etc. Kaya ba ng lab equipment mag-handle ng extra student? Pwede niya tanggapin or i-decline, but in most cases, tinatanggap naman siya. Kasi madalas na yung isang klase hindi pa puno yung slots after registration. Kasi may mga nag-drop na students or stuff like that. Even kahit puno na yung slots ng class, pwede pa rin tanggapin na instructor mga extra students na lalagpas dun sa slots na yun. It's the instructor's prerogative. Kaya yung term natin sa method na to is Prerog. In some cases, kapag marami nagpe-prerog, magja-jack and poy sila or bumubunot ng papel kung sino yung makakakuha. In some very extreme cases, may mga times na magpapasayaw yung instructor or magpapatalent show and siya yung pipili kung sino makakapasok. Before I offer my advice, sasabihin ko na marami akong aspects na intentionally iniwan. For example, yung flow ng advising, post-advising, etc. Kasi highly dependent ito sa department mo, sa campus mo, or whatever. Iniwan ko din yung change math or change of matriculation na kung saan pwede mo palitan yung courses mo after a week or 2, classes have started. Iniwan ko din yung concepts of waitlisting, dropping, and other stuff, mainly because hindi ko pa na-experience and we're really just discussing the quote-unquote core mechanics ng registration. Now, for my advice. Number 1, una mo i-prioritize mga majors mo. Build your schedule around your majors. Bakit? Kasi mga majors mo, hindi sila mag-a-adjust para sa'yo. For example, kung ikaw lang yung student na hindi available during Wednesdays dahil pinuno mo ng GE at PE and during Wednesdays lang in-offer yung course na yun, huwag kang aasa na mag-o-open sila ng schedule para lang sa'yo. Of course, nangyayari naman na mag-o-open sila kung nakikita nila na maraming students yung unavailable during the offered times. Number 2, i-group mo yung mga courses mo by day or by time if possible. For example, ako sa CS, I try to put all my CS subjects during the same days. Kunyari, Wednesdays, Fridays lang sila. Or nilalagay ko lang sila during the mornings or during the afternoons. Then mga GE ko, nilalagay ko sila during Tuesdays, Thursdays. Then mga PE ko either Monday sila or during the weekend. Also kung kunyari mga majors mo may conflict sila, for example, yung isang major subject, ino-offer siya from 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m. hanggang sabihin natin 2 p.m. I-reserve mo lang yung time na yun for your majors. Huwag kang mag-enlist ng mga GE or PE. Bakit? Primarily, refer ka sa advice number 1. And secondarily, kasi yung pag-enlist natin, most probably may conflict sila. So kung nami-minimize mo yung mga conflicts nila with just each other lang, hindi makalat lalabas yung schedule mo. Lastly, don't get too attached sa mga instructors. Kung gagamit ka ng CRS, makikita mo yung course demand. In addition, nakikita mo rin yung instructor for that course if they choose to reveal it. So 20 slots, hindi rare occurrence yung 1,000 yung may gusto. Most likely, mataas yung demand kasi maganda yung reputation ng instructor doon. Like, celebrity siya, or known na magaling siya magturo, or known siya na namimigay ng uno, etc. Yung tanong ko sa'yo is, sasayangin mo ba yung isang slot mo out of the possible 20 para lang sa less than 1% chance na makapasok ka sa subject na yon? Ako, personally, I have had a good number of my greatest experiences in UP under sa instructor na hindi naman ganun kasikat dahil eccentric or strict or mababa magbigay ng grade, ganun. Kung ako sa'yo, go for it. Mag-enlist ka sa course na may terror prof or eccentric na instructor. Practice natin yan on how to deal with those people, how to deal with those situations. Kung pa-perfect mo yung experience mo sa UP na puro green grass and blue butterflies, paglabas mo, you wouldn't have the skills to deal with a bad boss or a bad workmate na hindi mo naman maiiwasan talaga. Better you learn those things now during college. And that's really all of it. So if you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comment section below or join our Discord server and dun kayo magtanong. If you like this video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you and see you next time.